all of the times we've had to face that, I haven't found really the right way to do it other than just tell them exactly what you feel. And it's not always what they want to hear, but I try to come as clear to them as I can, tell them exactly what took place and why, and give them good reasoning, because I know as soon as they walk out that door, their mind is going a million miles an hour, and they're trying to figure out why, and what can I do, what's next, and what's going on. And I feel for every one of them. And so just tell them straight up what the situation was, what the opportunities are, because they ain't ever over. Guys come back to us all the time, and so there is always, to me, there's always a positive look at it. It's not like see you later forever. That's not how we talk. These guys that are in this meeting room right here, they deserve to be part of this club. They have given everything they've got. I love the way that they've fought through maybe their old habits, old ways to join us and be part of the mentality that we're standing for here. And they feel like they're our guys. So when we have to do that, I'm going to try to open the avenue so that they have a sense of how they could wind up coming back to us. And it happens all the time. So we'll see.
So the level of competition you were seeking going into camp was met.
Yeah, we've been battling. We've been battling. It's every day. They understand that they're trying to make it hard on the guy across from them, just about to the point. Lonnie Johnson said one of our meetings when we were talking about competing, he's talking about, I'm trying to piss you off. I'm trying to make you pissed off at me, and he's talking about pushing so hard that it's uncomfortable for the guys across from him, and then you got to deal with it. And how do you respond? And do you go throw a punch, or do you kick somebody or hit somebody, or do you take it to heart and you take it as the challenge? We're trying to push it to the edge in everything we're doing, and so I feel like really good about the level of competition.
Coach, you mentioned the communication between the safeties and the corners and the linebackers. Are you seeing that evolve this week? Have you been practicing on that this week as well?
It's a really big deal. We've not had we've had some stumbles along the way, but it hasn't been something that's consistently showing up. We missed a call here. We blew a look one time or another here. The big touchdown play against Seattle we totally screwed that up in the huddle and at the line of scrimmage. We just gave him a touchdown, and so. But it is not like pervasive. It's not. We don't have any problems with it. We just need to keep doing it. And the conversation that they have back there gives the guy next to them confidence that he's right, and he doesn't have to be second thinking. Am I right? Am I doing the right thing? What am I supposed to be doing here? That's what the communication allows us to get to that confidence level, so we can execute really well.
Pete, as you're building a roster, what is your philosophy if you got a guy that you think can help you this year a lot? But, man, there's a guy that could potentially a couple years from now be something. How do you weigh that?
Really well. The next question? No. Honestly, that's the conversations that wind up being John and I, hammering it out, trying to figure out what we think is going to happen, try to predict the future and all of that. That's all part of it. And I love to say that we're always right and we've got that nailed. But it's hard because there's a lot of variables and who's going to become available and all of that kind of stuff that happens. Something we just have to hammer out. We get to a conclusion and then we go forward and go and stand together on it. That's how we've always done this.
Pete, you're really big on competition. Just for you, what does it mean to be competing in a division with Sean Payton, Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh, and those coaches who?
Isn't that something? Yeah, I think it's great. If you're gonna be any good, you got to beat the best teams. You have to beat them, and so if this division is loaded with that's what's going to make us what we are. And going against Andy and Sean and Jimmy down there, it couldn't be any more challenging because these guys are terrific football coaches and they're going to have a complete team. They're going to bring their kicking game. They're going to bring their run game. They're going to bring their defense. And then they're going to know how to highlight their special players. I mean, that's what this league really, I think dictates. And so, I got to get my act together. I got to play up to those guys.
In Seattle, you had Sherman Smith as your running backs coach, and now you have Dillon as your running backs coach. Can you just talk about the similarities between the two and father and son, and how crazy was it to see their situation kind of transpire the way that it did?
Yeah, that story in the book and the wonderful accounting of all of that has come out. It was really well done and an excellent piece and all that. But to be right in the middle of it when it happened and to see it and you could see the similarities in their looks and their mannerisms, but nobody would have thought that there was a connection there. It just was it was just kind of spooky that they were so similar. And then when we find out after the fact that, it's his pops and all that, and we were so close in that during those years that Sherman was just like he was like a heartbeat for our program. You know, he was the kind of the minister for the guys, and he had so much to share with everybody. And then to know that this story was on the back end of that, I don't know, it was really hard to digest and to take it in. But now that we see him, it makes me chuckle all the time. I see the looks, I see the mannerisms, and to know that now it is connected to Sherm, who's one of my all-time favorite guys to work with, it's just a magnificent story.
Is everybody live on Saturday, or are some guys going to stay back?
Yeah, everybody's live. Yeah.
We've seen Terrell Edmonds take on more and more as he's been here. What have you seen from him?
I like him. Yeah, he brings you the sense of the experience. I mean, you can see when you watch his film that he's done tons of stuff. He's done all of the stuff at the line of scrimmage, on the deep end, coverage-wise, blitz-wise, and so he brings that to us. And he's got a level of confidence that's obvious. And so it's a great pickup for us. And he's right in the middle of everything, right in the middle of competing for snaps and all of that.
Obviously, this is last already, but final preseason game coming up, final roster cuts. What are you wanting to see out of those guys who might be teetering on the 53, 54th spot coming up?
I want to see them to go out knowing that there's a lot on the line for them and play like they're capable. I don't want to do nothing crazy. I don't want to try to be like somebody else. I want them to be the best version of themselves in the face of all that may be built up in their minds. I want to try to calm them down as much as possible, and trusting that the work that we've done, the reps that we've taken, will give them, if they can execute that on game day, again, under these circumstances, and they can handle it and deal with it really well. That's the message that you got a guy that can really compete and you can count on.
It looks like you guys are really working on the connection between Geno and Dante on those deep passes. What's kind of gone into developing that between the two of them?
It's ongoing. It's an ongoing process. You see G is looking for him, and he's trying to give him chances to fit in and all that. We've done a lot of it in practice. We've done, the targets we've had in the game, we're leaning towards throwing the ball down the field by design. Geno's trying to get him to come alive. Is he an over-the-top guy? Is he a back shoulder guy? What are his strengths? What does he handle best? So G knows how to throw the football to him. And so we're just trying to catch up on all that, and we continue to do it. If you've noticed, you guys have been here, you've seen all the deep ball drills that we've done. That's to develop the knack and the feel for the player and the thrower. And it's always good for the defense too, but there's a lot of offensive emphasis in that.
Do you think Deontay's looking back too soon rather than just getting down the field?
He did the other night. Yeah, he put his eyes up real early, maybe 10, 12 yards down the field, which is he's so fast, you want him to use it to get him open as opposed to is the ball coming, and so part of that is them getting accustomed to, is he going to get back shouldered? Is the ball going to get thrown outside and on the boundary? When he knows that G's going up over the top, he needs to be able to believe in that and be ready for it. So it's just a process. He has not caught a lot of balls in his career. He's an inexperienced guy in the program, but yet he's bright, he's smart, and he cares, and he's trying, and G's trying to connect it all and make it come together.
How would you evaluate the progression Malcolm Kuntz has made so far through camp?
I said something to Malcolm today. It's taken him a little while to feel that he's back. He came out of here and ready to go, and he missed so much in the offseason that he was disappointed in. But when he finally got a chance to go, it hasn't been that long ago. I mean, it's been 3-4 weeks we've been out here, and I think it took him time to realize that he's okay and he's in great shape. And it's often with injuries, particularly lower leg injuries, knees and ankles and all that. You got to believe that it's okay, and sometimes you have to prove it. And because after all of that time, they're thinking about it and they're limping around, they got the boot on and all that, it works you. And Alex will be the first one to tell you, you have to develop your brain to allow yourself to get back to normal. And it's not so much the physical part of it. He's got all full strength, he's explosive, he's tough, fast, all of that. And he's shown it in the last 7 or 8 days and 10 days that he really is back. So we're thrilled to see that.
Good. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Coach.
I look at you like that so I can remind me to tell you something. I was going to say outside.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Rob.
All good. Let's get it rolling.
In the NFL, you got to keep yourself on a kind of a time lane type of a thing. Are you kind of to that point now where it's like time to start playing for real?
Oh yeah. You definitely start to get to that point, where you start really getting into like, for instance, like last week, coming off the first preseason game, I was kind of like, man, I'm finna get in my routine, So I kind of like flipped the page, started like really studying the 49ers like a game week. So I felt prepared going into the practice, and then in the game, little things that they did a lot in the previous second game and stuff like that. Was able to prepare for it. So I just start getting into my routine. So when that first week come, it don't be a little off to myself and whatnot and stuff like that. So.
What has the growth been like for you guys in that linebacker role? You guys are all vets, but it's the first time you guys have played with each other.
Nah, it's been real fun. It's been real fun because, just because we got so many vets in the room that then seen a lot, experienced a lot, we can kind of joke and mess around. And then you got the moaning and complaining type of version of it from a standpoint of, like, okay, that's how they want to see it done. And then, we go and practice and wreak havoc, and then we just talking, but we understanding what PG and Pete is calling on for us to do and stuff like that. But you able to not get too up and too high in that room because all of us as vets, so, we know what to, like, take it up and take it down a level from a standpoint of play style and what teams trying to do on certain down and distances and stuff like that. So yeah.
How's it having Jamal Adams in that group, who's a newcomer for the position?
Real good. Jamal, like I said, man, got a personality the whole group do and whatnot. Very fun guy. We both from Texas, so we talk a lot of noise in the room. The best football come from the state of Texas. If you think otherwise, you just don't know football. But yeah. So me and Jamal and Dev and Pratt, man, and Tommy, like we're all gelling pretty well.
The length of your career has allowed you to see teammates develop. Mm-hmm. The light doesn't always go on for everybody at the same time. You have a vantage point of defensive lineman, and Tyree Wilson is somebody that has a lot of potential, and obviously passes the eyeball test. What have you seen from him in terms of his development?
I guess because it's my first year here with him and whatnot. From a development standpoint, I kind of don't know how he looked in the past, but I could tell you just from who he is today, just my opinion, man. He come to work, man. He's working hard, man. He does some very good things inside and on the outside and whatnot like that. And, man, that guy is really long and stuff like that. So his extension and just being able to get off blocks and affect not just in the pass game but the run game, man, you really see it. And, obviously, you guys was able to see it on a couple plays versus the 49ers, but, like, we see it day in and day out in practice. So, we know what Reek is capable of, and I think Reek know what he's capable of. But from a development standpoint, I just, I haven't been here through that process.
Going back to OTAs, you've been helping guys behind you, beside you, in front of you. It's almost seemed effortless, like you just knew this system. Have you been in the system before, or is it just a high football IQ?
Nah, it's a complete different system. it's completely different. But from a standpoint of, once you get comfortable with it, you start figuring out, like, the ways the offense can get us in certain situations, put, your linebackers on overroutes, being able to try to pull the defense in certain areas so that for their benefit. So you're just able to see what the offense come out in, be like, if they inside, hey, man, we probably going to get a lot of boot, or we're going to get play action, and they're going to come with a lot of crosses on us and stuff like that. And, hey, if they try to spray us out, they're probably trying to get matchups on the linebacker hitting it top down. So you start to feel, that philosophy of how offense is trying to get to us, so that now pre-snap communication, we're able to talk about them type of things and get it lined up, just heightening, the awareness of the play the offense could run. And me, Dev, Pratt, Jamal, we do a very good job of communicating that to each other.
Landon, whenever you're matched up with Brock Bowers or he comes through your zone and you got to cover him, just what is that matchup like? How challenging, is he to deal with?
Brock a very good player. Very good player. It's definitely a hard matchup and whatnot. I try to just use the tools that I need to use to get the job done. I'm going to keep that to myself.
You mentioned in mandatory minicamp you saw what PG was trying to do, but he said no, not yet. Is he starting to implement that, and are you starting to pick up on that?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely starting to pick up on it because it's getting close to week 1. So you need to start putting these tools in so then our defensive guys can use it to our advantage and stuff like that. I mean, you seen a little sprinkle in the 49ers game when, Chin able to be the best player he can be by, cheating up, showing a little something, and then he out of that and, being able to make a big turnover and stuff like that. And one thing about this league is it's about who can get that ball, and stuff like that. So defensively, if we can continue to get that ball, continually create plays, no matter who's getting a turnover, we're going to be able to be a successful defense in this upcoming season.
Kind of going back to talking about football IQ, how, I guess, difficult is it to kind of have to adjust to so many different defensive sets that's already on the field, but also how much fun is it to also have to be in charge of dealing with that as well?
It's not that many sets. It's not that many. It's just, you got different people maybe be in, but it's kind of the same and whatnot. Not going to get too deep into it. I don't know if the New England Patriots listening to this, so I don't know, man. But I'm just messing around. But, yeah, if you understand the philosophy of PG defense, then, you know what I'm saying, you can understand where they're going with, so the philosophy of the defense and whatnot. And it is some hotness to it that you have to have a height of IQ. But at the same time, man, they talk about it so much and they just really, really install it the right way to where they might start off to where it's just like this. Then they'll install one nugget. Then they install another nugget. Before you know it, you got a toolbox of tools on one call that you can do to not let the offense manipulate the situation they may put you in because they see what type of defense we're in.
How have you felt about the progression of the communication through the past couple of preseason games and getting more used to it with the guys that you're working?
I think communication from a defensive standpoint, I know a lot of people like to come in every season and be like, oh, our communication is right where it needs to be. Our communication is great and whatnot. But week to week, we have to be able to grow communication-wise, and that's even going to be all the way into the season. When you really want your communication at a height is, in the fourth quarter of the season, because by that point you done seen it all. So from a backer, from a safety standpoint, hey, look, we've been getting a lot of this. Hey, teams been attacking us this way because it's a copycat league. So one team attack you a certain way and they have success, the other team going to do it. So then the next week we need to heighten our communication from that standpoint. So that's why I always say real football don't really start until after Thanksgiving, because that's when you done seen it all, and you need to make sure your defense is on the height of the communication standpoint of it.
We know you're physical and you're a smart player, but one of your teammates said you're a quiet trash talker. Can you tell us about this quiet trash talking side of you that we don't get to see?
Yeah, I don't really know. I talk sometimes. It's kind of when I get bored. I get a little bored in practice. Gino might be throwing it a lot. It's not a lot of run plays, so I'm kind of just boring. And I can't kill nobody in the kill zone yet because, it's practice. So I'm just so I start talking that way. Or for example, yesterday we had one-on-ones versus the running backs. And, rules has kind of changed now with one-on-one, so you can't really rush them a certain way. So it's slanted. So the running backs got the chirping. So I'm just like, y'all know team run next, and they still chirping. I'm like, all right, I was going to take it easy on y'all today, but I guess I'll set this tone. And, yeah, look, I think it's little stuff like that. I don't understand why they mess with me, man. I be minding my business, and stuff like that. But it be fun because Devin kind of the ringleader in the room of the talking and whatnot. So Devin every day, I be feeling bad for him sometimes. I'm like, Dev, he don't be quiet, so I lay off of him. But then when they start with me, I'm like, all right, you asked for it. That's on you, like that. So.
Terrell Edmonds looks like a guy that's kind of settling in. He got some reps with you guys at the ones today. What have you seen from him since he's come here?
I've been like the real. I played with Real in Pittsburgh. So I've always knew who Real was as the person and the player and whatnot. A very smart guy, big guy, but at the same time he's very fluent and very fast and whatnot. Obviously Real was a first-round pick, and you kind of see it in his statue and just his ability and whatnot. And man, when we signed him, man, I was just like, man, this is going to be great. And I mean, when he walked in, I was like, hey, you know, this defense fits you, man. I hope that you're able to get your opportunity to take advantage of it and stuff like that. So, you know, obviously I'm rooting for him. And at the end of the day, I'm rooting for him and every other man out there, but on our defense. But at the same time, man, I'm just glad that he's out there, you know, being able to make plays and put some good things, you know, out there, not just for himself, but for us as well. Good.
Thanks, Atlanta.
What up?
Tyree, been having a really good camp. What a